What's going on, y'all? It's Jason Reviews, back at it again with another video. This time continuing our pattern, our lead up to NOME. Like I said, I got a bunch of NOME content. For those that have been here for the first time, or are here for the first time, I've done the NOME 12 predictions, and I've also done the top 5 NOME battlers ever, the king of NOME. So if you guys want to check that out, I'll have the link at the end of the video, maybe somewhere around here. And here we have the top 5 NOME battles of all time. If I mispronounced, that was the NOME battlers. This is NOME battles. These are the 5 best individual battles, and some honorable mentions. You know, NOME is one of the premier events all time. We could go on and on. NOME and SM, and there's been a lot of amazing battles, a lot of career-altering battles. A lot of guys fight their whole career to make a NOME, to make an SM. So we've seen a lot of legends that we know now have career-defining performances. We've seen some of the best performances ever at this marquee event. So without further ado, let's just get right into the list. And right before I say my honorable mentions, I'm going to give like a 30-second little prediction on the battle that was just announced, Real Sikh versus KShine. Obviously, I did my predictions, and the battle was announced more recently. I'm a fan of the battle. If you're going to build new top tiers, you have to give guys chances to become new top tiers. So people complaining, saying, I didn't want Sikh. Yeah, I would have liked the Jack matchup too. Jack Shine, for whatever reason, that fell through, as well as I believe Loso versus KShine fell through at some point. And I'm not mad at Sikh being there. Sikh is one of these new established stars. From UM1, it looks like we're going to get a few top tiers coming out of that class. And Sikh is one of them. And in this battle, I do have Sikh 2-1 edge. This is Shine's return. Big stage definitely is pro Shine favor. But Shine is going to be in need of a little bit of reinvention. A legend, but the chain punching with performance, and it's like one-liners stacked back-to-back. It's great and it works in the building, but people are starting to see some of it doesn't age that well to camera. Not all of it. Obviously, there's immense amounts of skill involved in it, but I just think Shine may have to reinvent himself, and I don't know if Shine's going to do that. I think Shine's going to come in sticking by his guns, and I don't know how much he'll have to say to Real Sikh. On the contrary, I saw Sikh rise to the occasion versus Fonz. I've been a big fan of Sikh's work, even though everyone says they're losses. I don't think they're all losses. I think he lost to Av, and he was great in that battle. He lost to Pat. I thought he was very good. I was in the building for that. And I thought he beat DNA in probably one of the muckier battles, but I don't even blame Sikh for that. So that rapid, I know that the multis can get people a little lost, but Sikh is becoming a lot more direct to the punch. I see another step of growth. I see him elevating in this battle and taking it 2-1 edge. So that's my prediction for it. One of the battles I'm looking forward to more in the night. And now we can get to the honorable mentions for the top 5 NOME battles ever. I got 3. First one I want to start with here is Nitty versus Gichi the Rematch. Main event of NOME 11, quite possibly the best NOME main event of all time. It's in that discussion. So why doesn't it make the list? I just feel like there's 5 battles that are better, but this has to be talked about because of the impact that it had. It is one of the premier performances from Gichi and Nitty in their NOME catalogs. And it's just an incredible battle all the way through. Obviously, the impact at the end, like I mentioned, it's going to get a mention for that. I'm not big on just shooing things in because of impact. Quality of battle matters to me, but this battle has that as well. Honestly, it could have made the top 5. I just think the 5 that are up here are monster battles. Damn near it's a preference which ones you would take. But the Nitty versus Gichi rematch, one of the best main events in NOME history, followed by one of the best surprise battles or late editions in NOME history, Av versus Chess. 2 young talents at the time. You got Av on his initial run on URL, and possibly his best performance still to this day. He was insane versus Chess, and Chess fighting back after a monstrous Av first to have an incredible second round, and then have a decent third. I had Av winning the battle relatively clear, but even with that being said, this is still a great performance from both of them, and it shows as they, going forward, Chess was able to get bigger looks. Av obviously was able to get bigger looks. Now they're 2 of the most well-known top tiers in the game. So Nitty versus Gichi 2, Av versus Chess, and my last honorable mention, Sue Surf versus T-Top. This battle really is incredible. It gets kind of overshadowed by the fact that Surf chokes in the third. We all know around these clumsy years, Surf was struggling to bring third rounds. I think he genuinely was messed up by the chain movements. One of the few times I don't think Surf just fucked it off. I think he genuinely choked and was thrown off. But T-Top had a career performance and a milestone plate. Surf's first 2 rounds here are very competitive. It leads to an extremely, extremely debatable battle. And if Surf doesn't choke, we're talking about this probably in the top 5, but he did. So our honorable mentions here, Nitty versus Gichi 2, Av versus Chess, Surf versus T-Top. And without further ado, let's get into the actual 5 battles. So at the number 5 spot, first battle I want to talk about, possibly my personal favorite actually on Gnome history, is KShine versus Rum Nitty. Just an incredible battle, a grudge match when it was booked. I feel like, funny enough, when you got a guy like Nitty that doesn't really promo that much, grudge matches don't really come along that often for him. There's big time matches we're happy about. Names, good style clashes, but it's rare that I feel like there's real animosity. And this was a battle Nitty asked for since he came on Smack. And then Gnome 9, one of the better gnomes of all time, if not the best, that we got this battle. So this is an incredible battle through and through. Moments, haymakers galore. Obviously, the one biggest reason this battle's on the list, Rum Nitty's second, in my opinion, might be the best round in URL history. If not, it's definitely that conversation. I know things get all preference-y when we get there, so don't take that as me trying to run away and make a hot take, but Nitty's second versus Shine is historic, and Shine was in the middle of his prime run that people speak of, and he was able to show that. The performance was at an all-time high, from first, second, and third, although I do think Nitty's material was better. The only thing stopping this battle from being higher up on the list, very similar to Serp versus T-Top, is that Nitty chokes in the third. The difference is Nitty does get it back. He's able to have great material before the choke and great material after the choke. So still makes for good footage, but obviously with a choke, it's hard when you have these other amazing battles and classics to compare. So, maybe my personal favorite of all time, extremely, close battle, highlights, all-time quotables. But that is why I have KShine versus Rum Nitty at 5. And then followed up by that, continuing the pattern of possibly slipping up in the final steps to be higher on the list, we have Chess versus Tay Rock, one of the most viewed battles in Gnome history. Obviously a classic. I've done a review on this channel for a flashback review for Chess versus Tay Rock. And this is another battle where there's an incredible round. We look at Chess's first, probably the best round of his career still to this point. Absolutely dominant. We talk about Chess sometimes having too long of rounds, but the fact that he had a 8 to 10 minute round of just nothing but bombs, and goes to show Rock's poise in this battle as well. Rock's first was good, but after walking into that, Rock was able to have a monstrous second, take that clear, and then sadly, as we get to the third, we know Chess does have a good third round, the moments, the Michael Jackson, you know what I'm saying? But sadly, he does have this news reporter thing. He's stumbling. I can't tell if he's stumbling. He meant to stumble. That's part of it. If he is stumbling, there's a lot going on. So Chess sadly drops the ball, leading to Rock getting the third round relatively clear. So even though I think the result is Rock 2-1 clear, it's another one of those battles that if Chess could have kept the consistency of his material and his cleanliness, it's another classic and possibly higher. On a lot of people's list, these two battles are higher, so it's just my opinion when it comes to these two. But another incredible battle. I believe that was Gnome 7 as well. Battle of the night on Gnome 7 too, I believe. So dope. And that will get us on to the third battle. And that battle would be Daylight versus Tay Rock. Another one. All I'm doing is naming classics. Sorry if I just keep calling each battle classic, but Daylight versus Tay Rock, a part of the Gnome 10, Gnome X, in the solitary confinement setting, the empty room setting, which definitely plays into the favor of Daylight. And on top of that, Daylight came at 100 for this battle, so you get one of the best 3-round performances, in some people's opinion, in the history of battle rap, versus one of Tay Rock's better 3-round performances as one of the better battle rappers ever. So a lot of things come together for this battle. Now, I can't lie, the empty room setting to me does take away from it a little bit. I know it allows rappers to get through their material a little bit more, but there's a lot of things that just, performance gets taken out of the equation to an extent. I think crowd control has become a big part of battle rap. Not that you win off crowd reaction, but controlling the crowd is a big part, and it just makes for better footage. So, the battle for me isn't exactly the one that I personally go and I'm just rewatching all the time like others. But with that being said, there's a reason it's at number 3, because I objectively can't get over the fact that Daylight damn near was scheming from beginning of the round to end for all 3 rounds. And then Tay Rock's first, one of the better that he's ever spit in general. It's a career highlight. And the fact that Light was able to kind of take this battle clearly all 3 rounds. A lot of historic pieces that go into a battle like this, especially from a gnome that for the most part isn't considered, one of the better gnomes. I know people get down somewhat on Gnome 10 if we were to, rank and list the gnomes. But yeah, a performance like this has to be admired. One of the best solo, if we're just talking individual performances, Daylight might have the best individual performance on Gnome. It's definitely up for debate. And then the level of comp he's able to do it against in Rock, it's just incredible, and that's why it lands on number 3 on my list. And from there, we can get into the runner-up spot, these top two. And this one is a little not controversial, a little weird, but I have Clips versus Tay Rock, the rematch, Clips versus Rock 2, as my second best known battle of all time. Now, the weird part is that obviously this was supposed to be the main event for NOME 4, got moved off into a one-off setting, so you could debate if this even is a NOME battle. If this counts as part of the NOME card, there is some weirdness there, but for the fact that it was marketed as a NOME battle, marketed to be the main event, and then it still did go down and was absolutely incredible, I'm putting it on my list at number 2. I'm considering a NOME battle. And there's not a lot that you could say here. Obviously, this battle speaks for itself. Tay Rock got absolutely mollywopped. He got the floor wiped with him in the first matchup that they had. Not here. You thought I was going to say that. But in the first matchup, Rock got destroyed. He was able to come back, and he, built Hall of Fame career from there. We know how it's all turned out, but especially at the time, he was really turning up. I believe the Will battle was before this too, so he had started getting those signature wins leading up to B Magic Classic. It was time to rematch Clips. One of the better aging Clips battles. I know some people say that Clips doesn't age that well. We talked about that a little bit with KShine earlier in his style. Clips with the more simpler writing approach. Very amazing for in the building. I still, Clips one of my favorite battlers. I still think he translates on cam a lot. But for a lot of people, he doesn't. I think this battle, everyone can agree, he translated well. And then Rock brought classic Rock material. Abandon, Your House Be Boarded Up. We can name the quotables, but super debatable, true classic, 6 rounds, 3 rounds each way, 6 rounds in total of fire. Just completely the epitome of a classic. I think moving it to the one-off helped too, the smaller, more close and tight feel. It's why we made volumes and things of that nature. I think that's the best setting for battle rap. And yeah, Clips versus Rock, the rematch, is my runner-up for the best battle in NOME history. And to top off at number 1, for my personal opinion, the best battle in NOME history, I have Gichi Gadi versus Sue Surf. Another battle speaks for itself. 6 rounds of crazy back and forth. At this point, people were a little concerned about Surf, obviously, at the time. He was coming off, I believe it was 3 years without giving a full clean 3-round performance, which is a pretty insane streak, even though Surf battles vary periodically. So it's not like there's 15 battles and he didn't finish a round or something, unprecedented. He probably had 3 or 4 leading up, but I believe you got the T-Top battle, he chokes. The Rex battle, the one-rounder on, was it Mr. Fab's card? He chokes in that. He chokes versus Rum Nitty. And then if the Suge battle happened before this, he choked in that, or not choked, but that ends weird. So always a lot of drama. People are giving Surf a lot of shit. We know how it goes. And then Surf comes back, and he's able to give one of his better, cleaner, and one of his best 3-round performances ever. At the time, I think a lot of people considered this battle clear just because they were in awe of some of the creative concepts. Surf's second, where he does the whole telling his story of where he was with battle rap through the battle rappers and opponents that he's had. Thought that was extremely creative. Obviously, the real talk both ways is insane. These are 2 very believable, very real battle rappers that relate to the people. And I think that's why it's number 1 for me, is that there's certain material in this battle that with punchers, other guys, you can't make that feel, with anything else. We talk about Gichi's the cell phone bar. His mama used to pays for his phone bill just to hear the voicemail. I've had lost loved ones. I've actually experienced that exact situation. That touched me, on a personal level. That's beyond battle rap. It's a way to make a life thing applicable just in a bar. And you get a lot of that both ways in multiple different bars from them. I could go on and on. All of these battles, we could list quotable after quotable. These are some of the best, most culture-shaping battles that we all know of. But overall, each round is a preference round, damn near, which is kind of crazy to think about. It's few battles that can really bring that out of you, that are the top battles ever, where every round, it's almost like a winner is just minute, because it's incredible. We know that they're both giving 10 out of 10 effort, and you can't ask for more than that. And also on NOME 9, very similar to Shine. So we have 2 battles here from NOME 9, which I think is really cool. Goes to show how great fucking NOME 9 was. For those that didn't get to experience it, at the time, one of the events I go back and watch the most. And this is my personal opinion, the best battle on that card, and overall the best battle in NOME history. And with that being said, guys, that is going to be the end of my list for the top 5 battles in NOME history. You guys let me know, comment down below, what battles am I missing? What would you move around? You know, give me your list. I'm all good, negative, positive criticism, any of that. Just a dialogue sparker, guys. You know, it's good to look over our history, especially NOME season. It's easy to count on guys who haven't been doing good lately and such. And I don't want to live in the past, but you know, when you see a guy like Gichi coming up, the Gichi versus Hollow battle, and that's getting criticized, probably not going to be a good battle. Even I said it on my NOME 12 predictions. Well, let's look at a NOME not so long ago where he's in a similar scenario, where he's one of the top battles on the card versus a legend, you know, Surf in that case, but Hollow in this one, and he rose to the occasion then. Does that mean he's going to 100% do that? No, but that's a precedent. It's a very similar scenario, and he was 10 out of 10 then, so that's just an example for Gichi, but like I said, I just like doing the deep dive on history, you know, appreciating the work that these battlers have given us. And as for later in the week, I want to let you guys know, I have my Monday, Wednesday, Friday posting schedule. I don't know if I'll be able to post Friday. I will be getting on a flight to Houston. Like I said, I will be in the building for NOME 12, so if any of you guys are out there, you recognize me, come say what's up. I'm always down to chop it up. I'm a regular go about it guy. You know, I just like talking our shit, talking battle rap. I love this shit as much as a lot of y'all do, so I'm prepared for a very, very fun weekend ahead of us. But like, comment, subscribe, and it's been J Small Reviews here again, y'all, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.